Hello Albies, hello YouTube, welcome into another video, and today we have another Nefarious Knight video, and today's one is Civilization Games Keep Learning the Wrong Lessons. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I feel like me and Nefarious Knight have a lot in common because I'm starting to get the feeling that bro is just a strategy gamer that is so sick and tired of strategy game studios not doing what they're supposed to do and keep making screw up after screw up after screw up. And he's just vented, he's just getting tired of it. So to put that ventedness and that tiredness into content, he's making these videos. That's the vibe I'm getting. Listen, brother, I understand. Now, for context, this is about Civilization 1, 2, 3, 4. I never played. I had a friend who was addicted to 4, said that 4 was the best Civilization, the best strategy game ever. I believed him. I went and got Civilization 5. Civ 5, I loved. Beyond Earth was quirky, but it was okay. It wasn't amazing. It wasn't terrible. It was meh. It was like a solid 5 or 6 out of 10. Then there's obviously Civ 6. Civ 6 was okay. Like, I had fun with it. I preferred things from 5 personally, but it had a nice visual upgrade, which is what we're seeing now. And then the latest Civ 7, I never touched it, and I've heard it's a catastrophic disaster that killed everything to do with what Civ's about. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. I'm just going off of what I've heard. So again, if you enjoyed the video and you want to see more reactions, drop a like, drop a sub, and hype up the video. It helps us get pushed. It tells the algorithm that, yes, this video needs to be pushed. So help a brother out, please. So without further ado, let's get cracking.
That's exactly why they keep feeling less like Civilization. What is a Civilization game? What a dumb question. It's right in the title. It's copyrighted, patented, slammed in the vault. No one can make a Civilization game but this man. No, I mean, how is a Civilization game supposed to feel?
Okay.
When I look at 5, 6, 7, I see 3 dramatically different games.
Yes.
Even if they're all set out to do the same thing. Tell the dramatic story of mankind in strategy game form. Are their differences the result of technological development, cultural zeitgeist, late-stage capitalism style, and shitification? In this video, I want to look at how the series has evolved over the last 15 years.
Oh, Civ 5!
Try and determine what it means to be a Civ game, and how I expect the series to look going forward.
Right.
Let's begin.
Let's do it.
Every Civ game has a defining characteristic which I believe summarizes its guiding philosophy.
Okay.
A philosophy which is both intentional but also a response to previous entries. Each successive Civ game is a reaction to the previous one's perceived failures, meaning that the series has been in permanent overcorrection mode. Civ 5 is all about sleekness. The sleek Art Deco UI, the way improvements seamlessly blend into each other, and the leader backdrop which fully immerse you into the world. Everything has a specific purpose in immersing you in the history, to the point where you may even forget you're playing a game, and you truly become George Washington, relocating the local native.
Why does he look like John Cena? Why does he kind of look like John Cena? And his name is George Washington. It's so dumb.
Population to claim their gems. The sleekness is exemplified by what I think is its defining feature.
Yeah.
The 1 unit per tile.
And as well, what I really enjoyed about Civ 5 was the mod marketplace as well. I remember someone modded it so you could play through World War II as World War II nations with World War II units. It was so fun, bro. It was so fun. You had the world map. It was such a good vibe. The only problem was it would kind of crash from time to time, and that was rage baiting worthy, especially when you're 500 turns in. But that's besides the point.
You old people will remember what the brain-rotted youth will not. A time when a strong Civ army consisted of untold masses of units compressed into an area the size of a school gymnasium until they implode into a neutron star. As a child playing Civ 4, my strongest memory is losing San Francisco to one of these invincible death stacks. After which I impulsively chose to nuke it, making the earthquake of 1905 look like a minor inconvenience. Crying as a child is truly a marvelous thing. This decision personifies Civ 5's desire to take that addicting, life-consuming Civ gameplay into a more approachable style, which has certainly paid dividends.
And I will say this as well. Civ, I feel like one of the things that definitely got me hooked on Civ 5 was because of how simplistic it was. Because, you know, the approach was simple. The research tree, simple. City building, simple. Pop satisfaction, simple. Religion, simple. Division, simple. And then Beyond Earth, they screwed it, bro. The whole research web system that they introduced in Civ Beyond Earth, bro, that was awful. I hated that. I hated the fact that it wasn't nations in space; it was corporations. I didn't vibe with that as well. But Civ 5 hit the money they hit the nail on the head. They got the money. This was the great game.
Civ 4 veteran will tell you, many of these simplifications took away something from the soul of the game. Civ 5 has sold over 8 million copies, more than twice as much as Civ 4, showing how the game managed to break through to reach new audiences.
Oh, and that's the thing as well. Sorry, I know I'm pausing a lot. One game, I don't know if he's going to mention it, but it was my gateway. So after my friend who was a Civ 4 veteran introduced me to Civ 5, before I went and purchased it, I had an Xbox 360 at the time, and I went and tried out, I don't remember it now, chat. You're probably better than me. You're probably going to Google it and know what I'm talking about after this. But it was an Xbox 360 Civ game, specifically only for consoles. I think it's the same one that they ported over to the first Switch as well. I could be wrong, but very, very good game. And it was like this, but even simpler. And it was such a nice gateway game into the franchise. You know, I'm not saying simple is best and simple is always great, but having the UI and the system simple definitely helps pulling people in. And like, if we just take a look at Nefarious's other video and looking at Paradox titles, right? Compare Hoi 4 to EU5. Which has the most players? Hoi 4. Why? Is it because of the war setting? No, not necessarily. Is it to do with the UI? Highly likely. Is it easier to understand than EU5? Highly likely. And I think that's why. It's because I'm not saying simple is best, but simple is helpful, and it lays a good foundation for you to build on from then.
Even today, the game maintains a cult following, maintaining a healthy player count, which can even be compared to Civ 7.
Bro, they got more players than EU4 and EU5. That's insane. Hold on, chat. We're going to Google this live. Hold on. Are you ready? Ready? Steam player count, or Steam player charts. Ready? Steam player charts. So that's it. 18,000 active players for Civ 5. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna type in Europa Universalis 5, brand new game, 2026 release, right? Oh, sorry, 2025 release. Let's have a look. And the active Steam player count is 12,658 for a 24-hour peak. Civ 5 is more popular than EU5. Oh no!
Ouch. Civ 5 found something special.
Yes, it did.
The problem is trying to follow up on special. And Firaxis learned exactly the wrong lessons. How do you improve on perfection? In theory, you can't, but Civ 5 wasn't perfect. You can always add more features, improve the AI, update the graphics, but each successive game in the series needs to embody something new, something that you can't get by buying the older games. One criticism of Civ 5 was how cities were generally quite uniform. You rush science, put everything into food, and watch as your fellow players cry and grovel as you vaporize their long swordsmen with tanks. You don't need friends. The imaginary trophy you won will keep you company.
Damn
Cities
right.
are, in my mind, not the most interesting part of Civ 5. They're quite uniform, but that's fine. What makes Civ 5 special is the elegance, simplicity, and immersion which allows interesting scenarios to emerge from the sandbox globe which is presented to you. In a Civ game, I don't necessarily want to micromanage cities. I want to invade Siam because I hate this smug, stupid babyface.
Brother, I feel your same anger, but I feel it towards Gandhi. Listen, I trusted Gandhi. I still remember it first time. I was playing Victoria. I was England. I was 300 turns in, and I thought, hey, Gandhi's known for being peaceful. Let's be friends with Gandhi. Brother betrayed me and dropped a nuke on London. I ain't trusting brother ever again. Every game through, Gandhi is done. Gandhi is gone.
This doesn't mean that you can't try to make the cities more interesting, and districts were, in theory, a clever way to...
Districts, I would admit that. Civ 6 did a nice job with districts. It takes me a little while, even now, to still understand really how it works and how to make the most out of it, but the districts feature is really cool. I like that. It really adds to it, you know?
Personal expression and less uniformity in the cities of your empire, all while allowing cities to expand from the restrictive one tile that had been the standard. Gone are the days of super cities which could do everything. You now need to specialize your cities.
Yes.
As the eras progress and your population grows, your city expands into the countryside, giving you interesting decisions on which farm to bulldoze and how many natural habitats you wish to flatten. In theory, I like this, but in practice, it makes Civ into too much of a puzzle. The adjacencies, bonuses, incentivize the player to build cities close together, resulting in every empire becoming one megacity of clustered urban hell. The puzzles that present mean that there is a vast majority of cases an optimal solution. meaning that at the start of every Civ game, an experienced player will already have planned out their entire empire on the first turn. The fundamental issue here is that districts optimize the fun out of Civ, abandoning storytelling for balance and predictability, which is fine, but it's a astonishingly different approach than what the series represented before. I think the knowledge of this is part of an overreaction, which then led to poor design choices made in Civ 7. Before we move on, Civ 6 also saw the emergence of a new DLC model. I went into more detail in my proper Civ 6 video.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest. I'm very anti-DLC. Like, look, I get it. DLC can add to games, but maybe, like I've said it before. I said it in the Paradox video. I've said it on streams before. I'm very vocal about it. It's probably because I grew up in an age where every game given to you was pre-packaged and fully properly made without the need to have extra extensions. And then online gaming, season passes, everything sort of developed in like the 2010s. And then it became microtransaction, DLC hell. Everything had a DLC. Everything had a microtransaction. Everything had a pay-to-add feature. I just don't like it personally because I got to experience the beauty beforehand, you know? And I think that's probably why. And when comparing Civ to maybe other games that spam DLC, maybe it's not so bad. Maybe it's the lesser evil, as it were. But I can't get behind DLCs. I don't appreciate DLCs.
But the short version is that Civilization, like the rest of the games industry, has pivoted from expansions to smaller DLC. In Civ 6, this pivot is especially obvious, as they started with true proper expansions and then extended support for the game through smaller DLC. Clearly, this has been ramped up to 11 with Civ 7, where it has taken an even more obvious form. In the transition from 5 to 6, Firaxis learned exactly the wrong lesson. Civ 6 polished away much of what made Civ 5 special, resulting in a refined, balanced experience. Faced with this, and with dollar signs looming, Firaxis did what it always does, and overcorrected. Civ 6 was a huge financial and critical success, further cementing Civilization as the paragon of the 4X genre, and
yep, 3 million more
games as a whole. How do you possibly follow this up? Very poorly, as it
Civ 7.
Civ 7's great innovation is the Civ switching, no doubt about it. They stepped up to the plate, swung and missed, fell over, shit themselves, all before the pitch was even thrown. Developers had all the data.
Is
which
that
said
bad?
Players do not finish games. Very true. Good job. Instead of improving the formula, they tried to magically fix this problem by splitting every Civ game into 3 Civ minigames, hoping that the player would be tricked into thinking that a new era is like starting a new game.
Yeah, I heard this. There's like a weird feature where you start off and you're given like an option of a few Civs, and then once you enter a new era, you don't keep your Civ, and your Civ evolves into another Civ, so that therefore you could start as Rome and end up as India, or you could start as like ancient China and somehow become America. I don't get it. I feel like that's kind of dumb. That's just me personally, if that is how it works. I don't know. Maybe it's one of those things I'd need to play before I try it.
I don't even need to talk about why it is a failure. I've done that already. And since developers admitted it themselves by implementing a single Civ mode and seemingly forming future content around a more conventional Civ playstyle. Clearly, Firaxis learned the wrong lesson, and once again, misunderstood their own product.
I mean, on the bright side, the visuals are cool and the health counter looks nice. It's a bit blocky, but it looks decent.
Update was absolutely a step in the right direction, which is reflected in the player count. We see a spike for the update, and while there is a slow decline back to average, it is still relatively healthy. Relatively.
It's still worse than Civ 5. Oh no.
Whether intentional or not, Civ switching also happens to fit perfectly into the new DLC model. Maybe it's just my cynicism talking. There is, of course, historical precedent for the development of civilizations over time. The alluring aspect is that with a DLC model like Civ 7, you can sell empires which are only played for 1/3 of the game, as opposed to the entirety of it. This is what makes me wonder, especially when you look at the British Empire being behind DLC. It implies that all the science choices are being made in the grounds of monetization, not whether or not it contributes.
Wait, hold on. So big empires, such as the British Empire, maybe the Russian Empire, I'm gonna guess maybe the French Empire as well. That's all locked behind DLC? That's dumb. Who's gonna want to spend their whole campaign playing as like Montezuma from Aztec? Like, they are a cool nation, sure, don't get me wrong. I mean, one of my favorites from, I think it was Civ 5, was Shaka Zulu. He was awesome. He was great. I might have been from the Xbox version. Anyway, Shaka Zulu was based. I loved Brother. Brother was cool. Or even Peter from the Russian Empire. I think that was 6 as well. You're going to want to play the big names. Why are you putting it behind DLC? For you money hungry, like, why? Let's think. Let's act with logic, please.
Making the game better, which would be a shame. But as they say, never attribute to malice what can be adequately attributed to incompetence. And here we are. 3 games, 3 philosophies, 3 overcorrections. The series has never been more technically ambitious, but never felt further from what it started as. Civ 5 found something genuinely special, a game that felt like history rather than just simulating it. It was approachable enough to reach millions of new players while deep enough to keep them there for thousands of hours. It was about stories rather than puzzles. That's pretty difficult to achieve and even harder to follow up on. Civ 6 tried to follow up on this by fixing what Firaxis thought needed fixing. And in a way, they succeeded. The cities are more interesting, the victories more varied, the world more readable. But in fixing the flaws, it accidentally pulsed away much of the magic. The stories became smaller. The decisions became more predictable. The game became a better board game, but a worse civilization game. And then Civ 7 tried to fix it all. Tried to tie it all together to create the ultimate strategy game to define the 2020s. But instead of asking what made Civ 5 and 6 special and fun, it asked what made Civ 6 safe and profitable. And so Firaxis did the one thing guaranteed to alienate the people who love the series most, by making it unrecognizable to the ones who made the series.
That is a good point. And like looking at it objectively, again, as someone who's never played Civ 7, some of the features look pretty, but just looking at the UI, like even like the this at the top, I don't like this. This looks really horrid, actually. I don't like the look of this. Do you remember that spin-off Civilization game? It was like it was a Civilization-inspired game, and it was called the Civ Killer. What was it called? Was it Humankind? Mankind? Something like that? It kind of looks similar to that. And again, that's another strategy game that I've not played. If you want me to check it out, please let me know. But, okay.
It's what it is today. Civilization didn't decline because of one bad game, one shaky launch.
That's cool.
It has declined because every sequel has become obsessed with fixing the previous game, instead of understanding why people loved it in the first place. Because every sequel learned exactly the wrong lesson. The uncomfortable question, and the one I find myself unable to answer cleanly, is whether this is a design problem or a commercial one. Because if a Civ switching mechanic was designed around a DLC model rather than a design vision, the overcorrection wasn't even about making a better game.
It was about making money.
Making a more profitable
game.
And if that's true, then no amount of community feedback or single Civ modes will...
And it's just going to keep going that way, and unfortunately it sounds like another game has been ruined by greed.
Because the incentive structure pulling Firaxis away from what makes Civilization special is stronger than any individual design decision. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Civ 7 will eventually look at this whole messy decade and draw the right conclusions. Maybe someone at Firaxis has a Civ 5 save file open on a second monitor right now, quietly taking notes. Maybe I will continue to cry myself to sleep using the Benjamin Franklin plushie. Anyway, that's another Civ video in the books. I'm not milking it. I'm the one being milked, or something.
Oh, goddamn.
To keep me sufficiently milked.
Get milking, boy. Anyway, chat, that was Nefarious Knight with another video talking about strategy games, kind of crashing out. We watched this one last time, the one behind me, which is about the Paradox game situation. Again, check out the channel to check that out. But we also have this one today, which was all about Civ. And you know what? It's kind of sad that it's yet another strategy game that's kind of losing its taste. The only strategy games really that seem to know what they're doing nowadays are a select few, and probably the majority of the Total War series. You know, they don't tend to stray too far from what they know and what has worked for them. They tend to play it safe. So maybe Total War is the only way forward, chaps. Who knows? Again, if you've enjoyed, check out the original video in the link down below. Check out my channel for more reactions. Don't forget to, of course, drop the like, drop the sub, and more importantly, drop a hype. YouTube likes this feature. This is a cool feature. Apparently, you can only do it on mobile, though. That kind of sucks. But anyway, hype me up. I'll hype you up. I'll keep the content coming, baby. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Twitch, let's watch another one.